Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and this is Style in V, and this is a tutorial on how to make a kimono jacket with two sides drawstring, as you can see on this video. Now this video is a beginner friendly video, very beginner friendly, and it's something you understand better. Okay, so let's get started for this tutorial. Now I'll be using about 2.5 yards of Ankara fabric to make this kimono. Now this depends on how big you want it, how long you want it. Okay, so it's because of the length, that's why I'm using 2.5 yards of Ankara. So the first thing I'll go ahead to do is to measure my length. I'll go ahead and measure my length like this. So I'll be working with a length of 32 inches plus 1 inch for hemming allowance, and I'll go ahead and fold the same 32 inches like this into two. It means one length is for the back and the other length is for the front. Okay, I'll just go ahead and fold it like this into two. Now after folding the length, I'll go ahead and fold the width again. Okay, so now this is what we have. Now remember, this is folded into two. After this, I'll go ahead and fold these two to meet the other side like this. So this is the width of the kimono jacket. So you can see that we actually folded it into 4 sides. Okay, so the next thing for us to do right now is to get our neck width. I'll be using a neck width of 3 inches and a neck depth of 1 inch for the back and a neck depth of 3 inches for the front. So I'll just go ahead and connect it like this, giving it a round neckline like this, as you all can see me doing. So the next thing I would do is to get my shoulder measurement divided by 2. I'll mark, and after the shoulder you determine how long you want the sleeve area to be. So I'm using the whole width like this. Then from there I will come down by my sleeve opening. I'll be using 10 inches as my sleeve opening right here. Now on this area where I marked my sleeve opening, I'll divide my hip circumference by 4 and I'll add 5 inches, and I'll add 5 inches as my allowance. You can do 3, you can do 4, depending on how big you want it to be. So the next thing I would do is to take whatever measurements I have on that area and I'll bring it straight down to meet the hem of my dress, and this is what we have. The next thing I would do is to give it a C curve right here. That's from the sleeve opening to meet the hip circumference plus 4 inches. I'll just give it a C curve right there. So when I'm done, I will cut the back neckline first, and this is what we have. Right after cutting the back neckline, I will cut this shape that we marked earlier like this. I'll just go ahead and cut so you can see how simple it is. So the next thing for us to do is to extend the neck width to the hem of the dress. Okay, so I'll just go ahead. Remember, we use a neck width of 3 inches, so just go ahead and extend it straight down like this, as you all can see me doing. So this is at the front of the kimono. Yes, we're doing this at the front area of the kimono jacket. So I'll just go ahead and extend the 3 inches to meet the hem of the jacket. So when I'm done, I will notch the shoulder line. Yes, I'll go ahead and notch the shoulder lines both for the front and back. So this will serve as a guide when shaping. Okay, so guys, when we're done, I'll go ahead and open it up like this. So remember, we've cut only the back neck line, so I'll just go ahead and fold it into 2. Now that notched area at the shoulder line should meet by the time we fold it into 2. The notch area at the shoulder line should meet, please. So guys, when we're done, you arrange it very well so that you'll be able to cut the 3 inches that we marked earlier straight down. So I'll just go ahead and cut it out like this. So this is at the front, please. Okay, the front of our kimono. So you just go ahead and open it up like this. You cut the 3 inches straight down like this. So keep this aside, and you notch the midpoint of the jacket like this. Okay, so this is what we have. The next thing for you to do is to measure from the midpoint straight down to meet the hem of the gown. So just go ahead and measure it right here from the midpoint of the back neckline like this. So you just go ahead and measure it straight down. Now this is how I will measure it. You just go ahead and follow the shape of the dress like this. Okay, you go ahead and do it to meet the hem right here. So when I'm done, what I got was 40 inches. Now remember, this is on fold. Okay, so whatever you have, you multiply it by 2. So that means I am cutting a cape of 80 inches length. Now for the width, remember we removed 3 inches on fold from the front part of our dress, so you go ahead and cut 3.5 inches on fold. That is 3 inches to replace the 3 inches that we minus, and half of an inch for sewing allowance. So that's just it. So I'll go ahead and cut it, and I've done this already. So I went ahead to cut a cape of 82 inches. That is 2 inches extra, should in case I ended up having shortage, so that's why I added 2 inches extra to the length. And for the width, remember I said it's on fold, I did 3.5 inches on fold. So you go ahead and fold it into 2 like this, okay, and give it a very good press. Now after ironing it, you notch the midpoint of the cape like this. You know the midpoint of the cape, and remember we've notched the midpoint of our back neckline area. So the next thing for you to do is to place the midpoint of the cape to meet the midpoint of the back neckline area. As you can see me showing you right here, I'll just go ahead and place the midpoint like this. So the rough side will be the one facing the neckline area. That is your right face of your cape should be the one facing the right face of your dress like this. So this is what we have. So just go ahead and sew it straight down from one point to meet another. You stick it round, you go ahead and sew it round, but preferably you start from the midpoint. You just go ahead and sew it straight down like this all round using half of an inch. So I have gone ahead to sew it, and I also give it a good press. So please, as you are sewing, be ironing it. So I've also gone ahead to give it a good press, and this is what we have. So the next thing for us to do is to put the band for the sleeve area. Now I also went ahead to add a band on fold of 2.5 inches. So, and I'll go ahead and put it on the sleeve area like this to cover up for the length of the sleeve. So I'll just go ahead and sew it to the sleeve. Whatever thing I do to one end, I'll do it to the other end. So after sewing the band to the sleeve, the next thing we'll go ahead to do is to hem the hemline of the dress. I'll just go ahead and fold it like this, okay. Just go ahead and give it a fold neatly and fold all the hemline of the dress, both for the front, the 2 sides of the front, and also the sides of the back hemline. So guys, I am done attaching the band to the sleeve and also sewing the hemline of the jacket. The next thing for us to do is to shape. Please, as you're sewing everything, please iron, don't forget to iron. So the next thing for us to do is to shape. I'll go ahead and flip the back area to meet the front area like this, just as the same way you shape your boo-boo dress. So you just go ahead and flip it over like this, and we will shape with 1 inch starting from the sleeve area to the hemline. So I'll mark 1 inch from the sleeve area to meet the hemline. Please don't forget to pin before shaping. So I'll just go ahead and take my 1 inch straight down from the sleeve to meet the hemline of our dress. Then I'll take it over to my sewing machine to shape. Whatever thing I do to one end, I'll do it to the other end. So guys, I am done shaping, and this is what we have. Okay, you can see the shaping allowance that we have right here. So the next thing for us to do is to do the drawstring casing. I've also gone ahead to sew ropes for the drawstring. So this depends on you, but it should not be too big so that to be able to pass through the casing channel. Okay, so I'll just come up here from the hemline of the dress. I'll come up by 10 inches. So this depends on how long you want your drawstring to be. So it mustn't be 10 inches, but I went ahead to mark 10 inches from the hemline of the dress at the shaping area. You go ahead and mark 10 inches. Now after marking that 10 inches, I'll open this up. Yes, I'll go ahead and open this area up so that I'll be able to sew in my channel like this. So watch carefully how I will open this up. I didn't meet the opening did not reach where the joining part is. That is where the thread is. Yes, so I'll just go ahead and open this up like this. So you can go ahead and give it a very good press before sewing your rope to it for your drawstring. Now I'll take one of the rope and I'll place it inside of this channel that I created. Now I'll place it inside, then I will start sewing. Okay, I'll just go ahead and sew. Now as you are sewing, you'll be pushing the rope inside. Okay, you go ahead and you'll be pushing the rope inside so you won't sew on the rope. So this is how I will sew it. Now I'll take it over to my sewing machine, which is already here, and I will sew it. Now I'll first of all hold the upper side of the channel that I created. Yes, I'll first of all sew the upper side before sewing the two sides. Now I'll go ahead and sew it like this, as you can see me doing right here, and I'll start sewing. I'm taking my time to do this so that you guys can understand better. So after sewing the upside of the casing, I will start sewing the sides. Now you'll be pushing your rope inside. Okay, you'll be pushing your rope inside. Now watch what I am doing. You'll be pushing your rope inside as you are sewing the edge. You'll be pushing the rope inside so you don't sew on the rope carefully. Now this is what you'll be doing. As you are sewing, you are pushing your rope inside and you sew on the edge of the casing like this. So this is just a repeated process. You sew from the upper side to meet the hemline like this, as you can see me doing. So your rope should be long enough so that you can draw it. Yes, so I'll just go ahead and sew like this to meet the hemline. And this is what we have. So whatever thing you do to one side, you do it to the other side like this. So this is for one side, so you do the same thing that I did on this side to the other side of the casing. So let's fix the other parts of the casing. So this is how I will place it. Now from the hemline, I'll just go ahead and sew it. The same thing we did to the other parts. That's the same thing we will do to this part. So you sew the two sides of it, then you also lock it up at the upper side. So guys, I am done and this is what we have. So you can see how the casing is. So this is all for the drawstring, and be careful not to sew on the rope. Okay, so if you've watched to this point, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So guys, look at the kimono jacket. So after everything, you just go ahead and give it a very good press so your dress will come out so neatly and fine. So see you in our next video, and bye.